Hi, family. Today I'm participating in a collaboration. The collaboration title is Dad's Picnic Tablescape. This collaboration is being hosted by the Grace Life DIY Home Decor, Deborah Calabasa Home Living, At Home with Lisa, Sandy's Home and Garden, and Debbie Bubbles. After viewing my episode, please hit the link in the description box to view the other playlisters. Stay tuned. Hi, family. Today I have for you a Dad's Picnic Tablescape. But before I show you my tablescape, I want to honor two dads. And I'll start with the first one. My dad. My dad is the hardest working man I know. And if my dad gives you his word, you can take it to the bank. Let me explain. My dad did factory work for 45 long years. He then retired, sorta, and then went on to work another additional 10 years as a custodian for a church. Now, the funny part of all of this is, you might think that would be enough. Not for my dad. He keeps reinventing himself. Listen to this. Now, this is just a couple of the jobs that my dad still does to present day. First of all, he's a landscaper, sorta, kinda. Now, he takes care of cutting the grass for some clients, trimming their bushes and what have you. But now he's not coming on the days that it's too hot, or if he has plans to clean his garage. Now, side note from that, my dad's the only man I know that cleans his garage out regularly and he throws nothing away. Okay? I have more. He's also a property manager, sorta, kinda. If you going south for the winter and you want someone to watch your property, call my dad. My dad will take care of your property, make sure any repairs needed are done, and you just work out a price. No contract, just his word and your word. Okay? Now, another job he has, he's an event planner. Really. His own, but he's still an event planner. And he does it this way. Now, when he's going to throw a barbecue for just say 200 or more of his special friends, he will, in the backyard, tell 2 or more people the date and the time. And he has a free DJ, which is usually one of my brothers. He has a free cook, which is my bonus mom who can cook her face off. And he is, what else? The hostess. And 200 or more show up on that date and time in his yard, and that's what he calls event planning. Okay? Now, this last job, he is sort of kind of what we call present day a life coach. Now, I want to give you an example of him being a life coach. Now, he had a great friend who lived actually across the street from him some years ago. He has since passed, but his name was Ralph. Now, I would be on the phone with my dad. The doorbell rings. He opens the door and he says, I better call you back. Ralph is here. I need to help him. Ralph is crazy. Okay? Now, he hangs up from our conversation, and I already know what happened from there. He gives Ralph a plate of food and a beverage of his choice, and they go to the backyard. Now, after Ralph eats and drinks whatever beverage of his choice is, if Ralph still doesn't look right or sound right, he might even offer more food or more beverage. But he's going to say one or two things. Ralph, you're crazy. Or, Ralph, you're nutty as a fruitcake. Now, that'll get Ralph to laughing. And if Ralph says something's wrong, then they're going to go back and forth about it. Oh, and by the way, if there's others in the backyard, they feel free to chime in also. So that's sort of kind of, I guess, a life coach. Because some way, somehow, they end up working it all out. I say all that to say, my dad keeps on reinventing himself, which I think is a good deal. Dad, on behalf of me, George, and the boys, we love you and happy Father's Day. Stay with me, I have more. Okay, family, let's break this dad's indoor picnic table down. Now, starting with what I'm using as a runner, which is actually a scarf, is a tan and white polka dot scarf. On the top, I added a basket and some artificial greenery. Now, inside my basket, my centerpiece, is barbecue sauces and different rubs that you can use for the barbecue. On the outer edges, as you can see, I have glass bottles of Coca-Cola from years ago. Remember the old Coca-Cola glass bottles? And they came in the little carrying cases. That's what I was able to find. Now, let's talk about my place settings. My place setting, I have white charger plates. On top of that, I have a blue and white dinner plate. I have a red napkin, and I turned my bowl over, and on top of my bowl is, you can use as a bread and butter plate. I'm using it today as an hors d'oeuvre plate. Okay, I have my glasses, my flatware, and on top of my hors d'oeuvre plate, I have peanuts. And I added the buckets at each place setting for the shelves. Now, let me know your comments in the comment section. I'm loving how this turned out. And stay with me. I want to honor one more dad. and that is my husband, George, the man I chose to be my husband 32 years ago and the dad to our 2 sons. Now, over the years, people have said George and I should write a book, which he and I joke about because we know we wouldn't sell one book, because today's generation of raising children is a little bit different than our generation that we raised our kids in and the previous generations. People have also complimented us on how our sons have turned out. And generally speaking, we take the compliment and leave it there. But today I have an opportunity to celebrate my husband in this way, and I'm going to do just that. And I'm going to do just that by just giving you a few points of what my husband did in order for my sons to turn out the way that they did. Now, my husband could have easily demonstrated to my sons that he was a provider and a husband and a dad, but that wasn't enough for him. He felt the need to be hands-on, and that's just what he was. Now, first and foremost, with my sons, I was a lot of things, and I taught my sons a lot of things. But I had sense enough to know that I could never teach them how to be a man. That's where my husband came into play. First and foremost, having a foundation in Christ wasn't an option for my sons, just like it wasn't an option for me and my husband growing up. Secondly, my husband was smart enough to know that we needed to stay connected at a young age with our sons. One thing he wasn't going to allow is outside noise to make an impact on our sons. So one thing he implemented was no TVs in the bedroom. My sons had to come watch TV in the family room with us. Again, staying connected. When the whole social media world came into play, our household changed just like everybody else's with computers and what have you, but computers were limited. I was and still am one step above computer illiterate, so my husband had to monitor that. And he did that by anything that my sons got on. The Twitter, my sons got on it, he joined in. Not sure if they had the TikTok at that time, but it was something else. He got on and he followed them. Whatever it was that they got on, he got on to keep my sons safe. Okay? Now, about 15 years or so ago, I was following the ministry out of Maryland, D.C. area. And the pastor had talked about his family having family meetings and the reasoning behind it. And I thought it was a great idea and the way that he explained it. So I took it to my husband. At that time, my husband wasn't crazy about the idea, and he really didn't see and maybe I didn't explain it correctly, the whole concept of it. But he said, let's give it a try. And we started, and still to present day, we do family meetings. Now, with family meetings, my husband leads the meetings. He opens with prayer. Each of my sons also have the floor. When they get done, me and my husband discuss whatever we want to discuss with our sons, and we all share. And it doesn't have to be, our family meetings doesn't have to be that something's wrong. Our family meetings sometimes is to celebrate something, congratulate the kids on something. It could be as simple as, hey, where do you want to go on vacation this year? Either one of us at any given time can call a family meeting. Now, staying connected over the years with my son has brought us to present day. If my husband or myself call my sons and their hello is off, instantly we know something's wrong. If my sons come home to visit and something's not right, instantly we pick it up. It's just a matter of time and a matter of us deciding how we're going to address it. All of this that I'm telling you has kept my family connected. And it's connected that came from my husband's leadership, being the man of our household. I take nothing away from how hard my sons have worked and how successful they are. But when I tell you, aside from all of that, it would mean nothing to me if my sons didn't have a foundation in Christ and if they weren't great men of character and integrity. Let me say this. George, thank you for your leadership in being the head of our home, for your love, for your guidance, for your correction. And on behalf of me and our sons, we love you and happy Father's Day. And until next time, be blessed.